Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing a Magnet Warrior deck profile. So I'm really excited to actually do this deck profile for you guys because this deck just got some amazing new support in King's Court. So this deck is a really cool deck that it was played by Yugioh himself, and it just keeps getting support over the years to make it better and better. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name searched during a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month your Patreon along with test hands. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Valkyrian the Magna Warrior. So Valkyrian is a very awesome card that basically you're using in this deck to go into your copy of your Imperium Magnum, the superconductive battle bot. And this card actually is easy to summon in this deck as well. It cannot be normal summon or set. It must be special summoned from your hand by attributing 1 Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, the Magna Warriors, from your hand and or your side of the field. And then you can tribute this card and then target 1 Alpha, Beta, Gamma in your graveyard and special summon those targets, which is really cool because this card was the card that Yugi used to actually summon Slifer the Sky Dragon in the anime the most, besides his Kings, Queens, and Jacks Knight. We then play 3 copies of Berserkion the Electromagnetic Warrior. Berserkion is a new retrained version of Valkyrian, which is really cool. I love the way this card actually plays in this deck because it does what it needs to do very well. It cannot be normal summon or set. It must be special from your hand by banishing 1 Alpha, Beta, Gamma, the Electromagnetic Warriors from your hand, graveyard, or face up from your monster zones. And you can also banish a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monster from your graveyard and target 1 of your opponent's cards they control and destroy it. And if this card is destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect, destroy battle, or if this card is in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, then you can target 1 each of your banished Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, the Electromagnetic Warriors, and immediately special summon them back, which is a really awesome effect just to give you your monsters back on your side of the field. I will also note they are both level 8, so they're great trade-in targets. We then play 3 copies of Alpha, the Electromagnetic Warrior. This card's really good in the deck. When it's normal summoned, you get to add 1 level 8 Magnet Warrior monster from your deck to your hand, which is either one of these cards, which is really good. And then you can only use the effect of this card once per turn. And then also, all of your Magnet Warrior monsters pretty much share the same effect that during your opponent's turn, you can tribute this card to special summon 1 level 4 Magnet Warrior monster from your deck, and it is a quick effect. We then play 3 copies of Beta, the Electromagnetic Warrior. Beta also has a really good effect too, that if this card is normal or special summoned, then you get to add a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of itself, and it shares the same effect as your Alpha, that you can tribute this card to special summon a level 4 Magnet Warrior monster from your deck, except another copy of itself, and it is a quick effect as well. Since it's a level 4, it has to be your copy of your Delta or Alpha, Beta, Gamma of the original monsters, which is kind of neat. We then play 3 copies of Gamma, the Electromagnetic Warrior. This card is also very good in this deck. And it's a very interesting effect that basically, if this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monster from your hand, except another copy of itself, and then also shares the same effect as Alpha and Beta. Or you can tribute it, special summon a level 4 Magnet Warrior monster from your deck, and it's a quick effect, which is pretty good. We then play 3 copies of Delta, the Magnet Warrior. Delta is really good too. Delta has the ability that if this card is normal or special summon, you can send a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish 3 level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monsters from your graveyard, except another copy of Delta, to special summon a Valkyrian, the Magnet Warrior, from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, which is how this card is so easy to actually summon off your copy of Delta, because it gets you some really powerful monsters on your side of the field. We then play 1 each of Alpha the Magnet Warrior, which I had to use the Duel the Roses original ones because Duel the Roses is like my favorite game ever. We play a single copy of Beta the Magnet Warrior and a single copy of Gamma the Magnet Warrior. All these were originally video game promos, which is why they're this parallel secret rare, and they were included in my favorite game of all time, which is Duel of the Roses. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom as well. Ash Blossom is basically just here to be able to discard from your hand, to be able to stop your opponent from all sorts of shenanigans against you, which is really good. So that's it for the monsters, guys. let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Magnet Reverse. Magnet Reverse is kind of a neat card in this deck because it lets you target 1 machine or rock monster that's banished or in your graveyard that cannot be normal summoned or set, and special summon it back to your side of the field, which is your copies of your Berserkions and your copies of your Valkyrians that you can get them back onto your side of the field with this card, which is pretty good. We then play 3 copies of Polymerization because this is a fusion build, focused build that you're going to be using the Berserkion and the Valkyrian to go into your copy of Imperium Magnum, the superconductive battle bot, which is an amazing boss monster. We then play 3 copies of Ties of the Brethren. Ties of the Brethren still to me is the best way to build this deck because Ties of the Brethren lets you pay 2,000 life points and then target a level 4 or lower monster you control, and then for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters, and also you special summon 2 monsters from your deck with the same type, attribute, and level as that monster, which is really good because it can let you summon out Alpha, Beta, Gamma of either the Electromagnetics or the Magnetic Warriors, which is pretty good. We then play the new card that we got in the King's Court, which is Magnet Induction. Magnet Induction is nuts in this deck. I cannot believe this deck got this good of a support card. Like, this card is insane. That if you control a Magnet Warrior monster whose original level is 4 or lower, you get to special summon 1 level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monster in your deck with a different name than that cards you control. Also, for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, Magnet Warriors and Magnum Warrior monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effects. This card literally has no downsides, and this is an automatic 3-up. It is better than a Searcher. It is so important for this deck, and it's the reason I thought about for just a minute dropping Ties of the Brethren in this deck for 3 of this instead. We then play 3 copies of Magnetic Field. Magnetic Field is really good in this deck too, that if you control a level 4 or lower Earth Rock monster, then you can target 1 level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monster in your graveyard and special summon it. You only use the effect of this card once per turn, and once per turn at the end of the damage step, when an Earth Rock monster you control battle an opponent's monster, but the opponent's monster it was not destroyed by battle, you can return that opponent's monster to the hand, which is pretty good because it basically makes them all Neospatian Grand Moles, which is really good. We then play 3 copies of Trade-In as well. The Trade-Ins are basically here because you play 6 targets for this card, and it's really not that bad to just immediately discard a copy of Berserkion or Valkyrian to the graveyard to dig deeper into the deck, which is why I can actually justify playing 3 of each of them. If I wasn't playing the Trade-Ins, I would probably play them at 2 each, and it would still be okay because they're searchable off of a bunch of different cards in this deck, but I like to play this card in the deck because it helps me dig into the deck to get the particular cards that I need, and Magnet Reverse is a card as well that can revive them, which is just really important for the deck. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Imperium Magnum, the superconductive battle bot. This card is really good and is a amazing boss monster. It takes a Valkyrian and a Berserkion to summon this card. It must be fusion summoned with the above infusion materials and cannot be special by other ways. Once per turn during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a spell or trap or monster effect, you can negate the activation to destroy that card. And if this face-up card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can special summon a Valkyrian and a Berserkion from your hand or deck, ignoring their summoning conditions, which is extremely powerful just to get you a Berserkion and a Valkyrian on your side of the field, which is a 3,500 beat stick and a 3,000 beat stick, I will mention to you guys. That is absolutely crazy. We then play the same copy of number 97 because you can put 2 rank 8s on the, or put a rank 8 on the field pretty easily in this deck. And this card is really good at summoning Hope Harboring Dragon Titanic Galaxy, which can basically negate spells, which is really good for this deck as well. Number 100 is really good because it can give you a 9,000 beat stick on summon, which is really powerful for this particular deck to throw this card out. You might be wondering how you actually summon this card. Well, you use number 97's effect to be able to special summon out a copy of number 38, and then you make the number 100 on top of the number 38. Then you just detach a material from this card to be able to let this card gain attack times 1,000 equal to the ranks on the field. This card is always treated as a rank 1, and then this is treated as a rank 8, so you have 9,000 attack, but this card will go to 9,000 on summon, which is pretty good. Play a standard copy of Gallant Granite because it searches any of your rock monsters from your deck to your hands. Pretty easy to summon in this deck as well. We play a standard copy of Gorgonic Guardian. Gorgonic Guardian is really good too because it can reduce an opponent's monster's attack to 0. And if it does, its effects are negated. And it's a quick effect as well because it's during either player's turn. And also has the effect of these effects last until the end phase. And then once per turn, you can target a monster on the field whose attack is 0 and destroy it, which is pretty good to be able to pop something. Play a standard copy of Downward Magician. Downward Magician is here because you can make it on top of the Gorgonic Guardian or on top of your copy of your Fortune Tune as well, because you can make it on top of either one of those monsters to then summon out a copy of Zeus, because Zeus is an extremely powerful Xyz monster that you can summon in this deck to just board wipe your opponent, which is really good. You don't have to play Zeus, but I do recommend it. If you do have the Zeus, you can play it. You can change it out for something like a Nightmare Cerberus if you want to go that route. We then play a student copy of Access Code, because Access Code can give you multiple pops against your opponent. You can change this card out if it's a little bit too expensive for you as well. You can change it out for something like a copy of Borreload, Boral Sword. Either of those cards work in this particular position. One copy of Unicorn because it spins stuff. One copy of Phoenix because it pops spells and traps. One copy of IP Masquerena because it can link summon during your opponent's turn into a copy of Unicorn, which is really good. And then a same copy of Anaconda because it can get your polymerization, if you don't have polymerization, to go into your copy of your Empyrean Magnum, which is really, really good in this particular deck to go into. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. It's a really fun deck to play around with, to be able to play Magnet Warriors. And it's just a really awesome deck. Like, I even thought about throwing in like a Slifer in this deck to be able to like super play old school with this deck, but I really just kind of wanted to focus around summoning the Empyrean Magnum again because it's just such a good boss monster in this particular deck. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely hit that bell in there so you can come part of the notification squad and check out the Patreon down in the description below. And we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.